It's been a long time since you've been in my kitchen. It's been a long time since I made a video. My hair's getting very long. I don't often show my forehead. It is a large forehead. But it's a forehead God wanted me to have, so I'm gonna just let it shine. Well, we're gonna be making our breakfast burritos. I make these every weekend, usually on Sunday night. I'm ahead of the game, it's Saturday. And I make 2 per day for the week. My husband eats a lot, 8,000 to 9,000 calories a day. And before you guys are like, oh my god, it's so bad for you, he works. I'm not even gonna get into it. Anyhow, this is not by any means a slender figure, female, trying to stay lean type burrito. This is a, yes, I'm being stereotypical, man's burrito. I understand women eat like men. I understand women can eat a lot. I'm not even going to get into it. I know I'm going to get comments that are ridiculous. Either way, no matter how politically correct I try to be. This is a man's burrito. What about it? I use Farmer John thick cut bacon. I have found this bacon to be cheaper at Vaughn's, about $4.99 for this here, than at Walmart, which is 5 something. I'm sure it fluctuates. However, I did find this at the Nex, which is the commissary for the United States military, so probably not accessible to a lot of you, for $3.99. So whenever it's on sale anywhere, I do prefer the thick cut. I refuse to buy anything other than thick cut, and I find that Farmer John's gives me a big fat piece of bacon, even though like Oscar Mayer thick cut, still papery and gross. But Farmer John's, I've studied bacon a lot in my life, and this is good stuff, especially for the price. Now, I used to fry bacon in a pan, and it was just so time consuming because I would constantly flip it because I hate burnt bacon. I hate crumbly bacon, so burnt that it just crumbles. I like it to have a meaty texture. Crispy on the edges perhaps, but definitely not all the way through. So what I have done is opened the bacon here. Bacon! Then I have here, over here, I have a pan, just a regular cookie sheet that I cover with foil, just for the sake of having an easier cleanup. So, I don't know how big this cookie sheet is. It's pretty big. Does it say the dimensions on the back? No. But it's one of the larger ones, and it fits bacon perfectly. No need to spray the foil because bacon is plenty fat already. It'll produce its own non-stick juices, and I just lay them one by one next to each other. Pretty snug because this pan does get full. If they scrunch a little, overlap a little, that's fine because they're going to shrink some in the oven, and I will eventually flip them. You will see. You don't have to pan fry it. You can cook bacon however you want. In the oven, on a skillet, in the microwave. I'm going to place this in the oven. Middle rack is just fine, whatever. And then I'm going to turn it on. I am absolutely not going to preheat this. I think I read about this tip online once. Stick it that on 400. I don't know what that was. Stick it on 400 degrees for 20. This is hard to set with one hand. 20 minutes, 400 degrees in a non-preheated oven. You will have that bacon in there for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Then I will come back to it, flip them, and leave it another 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. It has been 20 minutes. to flip it. They're so beautifully golden. Sometimes I can flip like a whole chunk at a time. You little turkeys. So then, also inside of my breakfast burritos, I put Jimmy Dean original pork sausage patties. Now, there are 8 here. I'm gonna make 10 burritos. So sometimes I'll use a whole patty per tortilla. But since I'm too lazy to open another one, I'm just gonna go a little extra on the bacon. I usually use 2 slices of bacon, 1 patty, and then 1 round Canadian bacon circle. Eggs, cheese. About 1 egg per burrito, and then a mixture of the shredded cheese that's mixed white and orange cheeses. And that's what I do. So I'm gonna microwave these. You don't have to microwave them fully, completely, because you reheat the burrito when you eat it. So, like, these are already cooked. The only reason I'm microwaving them is so that I can cut them and distribute them amongst burritos. So they're still going to be a little cool, a little cold, because there's no reason for me to heat them fully through, because I'm not eating them. I'm just making them easy to cut so that I can put them in each burrito. And then the tortillas, I use the giant version of the Mission. Sometimes you can only find it in the 8 count, but I find the 16 count, and then I keep some in the freezer. I buy a lot of these. The cheese I prefer is always Sargento's. Kraft is alright, whatever, but I think this cheese is best. Sometimes you can find, this is a combination of Monterey and Jack. Sometimes like the 4 cheese Mexican blend and the Italian blend. There's a bunch of blends, but whatever. Orange and white. Who really cares? Eggs. I'm gonna need my husband to go get more eggs because I want to make muffins and that just happened. Wow. Okay. I don't usually do, I try to do 1 egg per whatever, but depending on what I have, I don't always. I'm going to have 10 burritos, and I've only got 7 eggs. Sometimes the eggs can be a little skimpy because there is so much meat that it doesn't necessarily matter to have a whole entire egg per. I don't scramble these prior because it doesn't matter. I'm just going to cook them. When they start getting white, I will mess with them, and let me wash my hands. If I'm making 1 burrito at a time, sometimes I will butter the tortilla very lightly and then fry it in the pan because it makes it taste a little bit fresher, like it was actually homemade. I've tried to make flour tortillas by myself, but it never turns out very, very good. So I put a little butter on the tortilla and then I fry the butter side down and then I make the burrito. Sometimes I'll add hash browns or bell peppers and onions and all the fancy stuff, but really, what I'm doing right now is the basic man burrito, and it does not need the hash browns. It does not need the bell peppers and onions because it is just so meaty and fantastic. The meat speaks for itself, but if you're husband or whoever you're making these man burritos for, woman burritos, whatever you want to call them, likes the vegetables and likes that kind of stuff, obviously you can do what you like. But I find that he is very satisfied with these meaty burritos. So I take foil and I will lay out 10. Then I just lift the bottom. You can leave the egg a little undercooked because it's going to continue cooking, and when he reheats it from the microwave, in the microwave oven, it's going to recook the egg also, and eggs cook very quickly, so that's that. I'm going... Who's yelling? Oh. I am going to put the eggs a little bit here, 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 here. Then I'm going to take the sausage patty that is cool but not cooked, just enough for me to break it up and distribute. Usually one per tortilla, but like I said, I'm going to have to make about 8 of them fit on 10 burritos, so almost a full patty. I usually separate them into maybe 4 bites worth. I just place on the tortilla like the long way, like, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to sprinkle each with cheese. Let me see if I can set this up a little better. Grab some freaking cheese, sprinkle it. You can add more or less if you like. I do enough to where it'll stick. There is no sauce on this. You can add hot sauce if you want, but I don't. So the cheese melts and acts as the sauce, if you will. The whatever. So I usually use Canadian bacon, and I thought I purchased Canadian bacon. I cannot find it in the freezer or the fridge, so I have here a big ass thing of ham, which will do just fine. So I cut a layer, and my husband likes whole chunks. Like, he doesn't like me to break the bacon up into like bite-sized pieces. He likes me to just lay the entire strip of bacon on the tortilla, so that's what I do. So this is a lot more meat than, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It says Canadian bacon and it's a circle of ham, really. You can salt and pepper these if you want. To me, there's plenty of salt in the bacon, so I don't salt the breakfast burritos. Sometimes I'll add garlic powder or onion powder. Sometimes I'll sprinkle with paprika if I'm feeling weird. Oops. Sometimes I will put some parsley. Depends on how sprinkly I feel. So I'm gonna add 2 slices per burrito because he loves bacon. About 2 slices. And all I do is he likes meat all the way to the end so that every bite is filled with meat. He doesn't want just freaking bread in one of his bites because he's OD beast mode, Superman mode. And I just roll this puppy. Voila. Why is that countertop wet? And then I will put all but 2 in the freezer. So then I just take them out of the freezer the night before so that he can have them semi-thawed in the morning time. And that is how I make sure my husband eats breakfast all week long.